fully packed with energy.
Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
The City is still alive here. Balotelli.
This is Now Sports on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Yes, we're back on air and it's time to talk sports right here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. And of course, my name is Niran Adesanya. You get the updates and of course, you also get incisive analysis and exciting, very exciting discussions on what is happening in the world of sports. Okay, Euro 2020s are over. We are now moving on to the biggest sporting showpiece on the planet Earth. That is, of course, the Olympic Games. And in just over a week from now, we will be touching. Of course, that touch will be lit, and then the games can begin. And of course, Nigeria looking good for this one, possibly looking to excel beyond their best performance at the Olympic Games, which was far back as 1996 in that American city of Atlanta. Okay, but this time around, it is the beautiful city of the land of the Orient, Tokyo in Japan, and Nigeria could just be lucky. Probably put up their best ever performance at that games. Okay, also joining me on the show is Dan Akins, who will be getting into the studio in a short while. But then, of course, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of gist to give you guys, especially concerning the Olympic Games. Nigeria could be running into murky waters with regards to that history that we were about to make with regards to our women's basketball team, the Tigers, as we were hoping to make history by becoming the first national team to parade three sisters in one team. But then, of course, FIBA has come out to reject the proposal or the application for Nneka Ogwumike, one of the three Ogwumike sisters that have been listed by Nigeria for the Olympic Games. We shall be talking about that and what the Nigerian government could do with regards to trying to ensure that their wish and that of Nneka Ogwumike to join our sisters as part of Team Nigeria comes to pass. We'll also take a look at a few other things, especially the tennis event of the Olympic Games that has witnessed withdrawal of some of the top players. Serena Williams, Roger Federer, and the latest is one of the top players at the last Wimbledon tournament which just ended, talking about Angelique Kerber, who has also pulled out of that same tournament. Okay, so it is a very, very loaded program. Dan Akins, like I said, joins me on this evening's edition of the show. And Double D, how are you doing? Good evening to you.
Good evening, Neo. I'm excited to be on the show. I'm doing great. It's been a very, very interesting day right here at the station. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, excited to be on the show. In the world of sports, like you said earlier this morning, club football is slowly creeping back. I mean, we're seeing a bunch of friendlies. We've seen Arsenal, we've seen PSG, and of course over the next couple of days we'll be hearing more and more. This weekend as well, Arsenal is playing a friendly game later against Rangers, also in Scotland. But yes, I'm talking about transfers. William Saliba officially leaves Arsenal to join Olympique Marseille on a loan deal to the end of the season.
Why not? Why am I not surprised that I mean Arsenal takes majority of your updates every time there is something that comes.
Just I have them at the tip of my finger.
Oh really? Oh, and you don't have the others. You should be taking.
I have the others. I give the others.
You should be taken to the court of arbitration for sports. It's just that
right now Arsenal seems to be doing a lot of the mini business in the Premier League. We're not hearing so much, and you know that as much as we get the updates from all the other Premier League clubs as well, and of course other clubs in other leagues in the world, we'll be giving you all the updates right here on the station.
Okay, of course we'll also try as much as possible to keep you updated with the mini football tournament which is happening right here in Lagos at the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. And of course, Nigeria is meant to have played Ghana in that fiercely contested quarterfinal fixture, and we'll be keeping you updated as soon as we have
something interesting
reports
about the
from there.
quarterfinal is that all the quarterfinal winners will automatically qualify for the World Cup in Ukraine next year. So
Yeah, it's still a very new tournament.
yeah.
So when you get to the semi-finals is what you mean. Those who get to the semi-final, that's four
all
teams from Africa.
Like everybody that makes it to the
So
semi-final.
Nigeria would do well to actually dump their fierce rivals and West African neighbors.
Ghana
as
in any competition, whatever it is always
That's like
joy.
winning the competition itself. So we'll see how things go. Anyway, let's bring you all the reports from the local scene before we go international. And first up is the good story that the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has entered into a bilateral sports agreement with Italy's Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture to create opportunities for youth through sports. This agreement was sealed by the president of the Italy-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Silvano Bellinato, and the Vice President Olajide Ogodon during a meeting with the Minister of Youth and Sports Development in Nigeria, Sunday Dare, in Abuja. The bilateral relationship will focus on establishment and support of existing academies, Italy-Nigeria football tournaments, exchange of players, training of coaches, referees, kits and equipment franchise. And straight up to that story concerning basketball. But before then, let's talk about the good news where the men and the women's basketball teams of the country, the Tigers and the Tigress, have received a major financial boost ahead of the preparations for the Olympic Games after 3 financial organizations donated $200,000, which comes up to about 82.2 million naira towards the same Olympic Games preparation. The 3 financial institutions jointly adopted both teams under the Adopt an Athlete initiative of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development with the $200,000. Each team will receive $100,000. That's according to the media office of the ministry, which released a statement yesterday. And while assuring that there is still room for other corporate organizations to adopt Olympics-bound athletes, the ministry expressed confidence that the financial support has further brightened Nigeria's chances of clinching gold in basketball. And only just a few days ago, during the exhibition 4-nation tournament, the Nigerian men's basketball team, the Tigers, dropped the gauntlet and show that they are not just going to be part of the indices at the Olympic Games. Rather, they are going to be competing for the title, which is any of the medals available, gold, silver, or bronze. This is big. And then, of course, let me quickly add to that. The latest development is that Odunayo Adekuroye cannot cease to get attention and, of course, attract the limelight every time, as she has just been adopted once again by an organization, a security organization in Nigeria, and that was just revealed a few days ago, to be honest. So it's good for her. Earlier we talked about the fact that the sports minister himself, Mr. Sunday Dare, had earlier adopted Odunayo and alongside some other athletes for Nigeria who are gearing up towards the Olympics. So it's big news, Daniel.
Well, big news. I mean, with the amount of adoptions going on, how many parents we should have? But anyways, like I said, great development by the Minister of Youth and Sport, Sunday Dare. I think this has been brilliant. This adopt an athlete initiative has been brilliant. Of course, you know that it's mostly the top athletes that do benefit from it, but it has been a brilliant development. And of course, we know that by this development for Odunayo Adekuroye, that means that there will be more fundings, that she will be able to have top-notch practice, top-notch training facilities, have access to things like that. And of course, that improves the level of level at which she will be competing. And of course, we know that at the Olympics she has been seeded second, right? She's been seeded number 2. That's like top notch. Imagine being seeded number 2 in the whole world for a worldwide competition.
But it's also a target on your back.
It is. It's the responsibility that it's the responsibility that comes with it. It's just a normal thing. But I'm excited for her. I'm particularly pleased about this.
Okay, and of course, talking about basketball, which we are still on to, and let's go to that story about Nneka Ogwumike's petition to represent Nigeria at the 2020 Olympics, which has now been officially rejected by the Basketball World Governing Body FIBA due to substantial involvement of more than 10 years with Team United States. Ogumike, who was a 2016 WNBA Most Valuable Player, played competitively for the United States from 2009 and 2018 and is seeking to explore all available options, including a possible application to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. The Nigerian Basketball Federation has already filed an appeal to FIBA on behalf of Ogumike and Elizabeth Williams and the Atlanta Dream Center, who was also denied because of previous involvement with Team United States. And according to the NBBF, they say they do tacitly believe that there are undercurrents and motivations for such a decision from FIBA, which is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. They also say that it is outrightly discriminatory because players of African descent are approved to play for other countries constantly, but the reverse is not the case when Nigeria tries to get a player of Nigerian descent but had previously played for another country like the United States. We'll see how that appeal goes for Nigeria in that one. And now on to football. Let's go straight to a big story. We had thought that Remo Stars had been, fined earlier on, but there is another official statement which is coming out of the appeals committee. I think this was after some appeals. An appeal was made with regards to the decision earlier made on top of the incident that happened in Ikenne in Remo. That's a part of Ogun State where Remo Stars Football Club hail from. And we hear that the NFF appeals committee has actually fined Remo Stars Football Club of Ikenne the sum of 1.3 million naira for various breaches of rule book of the Nigerian National League for the 2020-2021 season. And the barrister Ibrahim Eddy Mack-led appeals committee rose from its sitting today, 14th of July 2021, with decisions on the appeal lodged by Bendel Insurance Football Club of Benin in respect of their Group B2 Week 21 clash, which held at the Remo Stadium, Ikenne, Ogun State, on the 6th of June. And a breakdown of the financial charges showed that Remo had to pay the sum of 200,000 naira as damages to camera and phones belonging to officials of Bendel Insurance, the sum of 500,000 naira as cost for nominal damage medical bills for the injuries inflicted on the players and officials of Bendel Insurance, 100,000 naira for damages to the boss of Bendel Insurance, 500,000 naira for encroachment and breach of COVID-19 protocols by the supporters of Remo Stars. And of course, a total of this comes down to 1.3 million naira. For me, I don't know. I still have my reservations because at the end of the day, there doesn't seem to be. The only difference is that the earlier fine was less than 1 million naira, but now it's just over 1 million naira, 1.3 million. I don't know your thoughts on this, Daniel.
I do not understand the back and forth on the.
I mean, I look at some of the stuff and medical bill.
They are very reasonable. They are actually very, very reasonable. I mean, we're talking medical bills. We're talking repayment for,
cameras and
cameras,
phones. Really,
devices that were destroyed. I mean, it has to be. It has to see consequent actions.
And that comes down to how much? That comes down to 200,000. Really?
1.3 million.
How much does an iPhone cost?
What I just do not understand. What I just do not understand is the. Back and forth on the punishment, right?
No, the bottom line was the NFF took their decision, but Bendel Insurance were not satisfied with it. Don't forget, they didn't pay them anything for the medical bill for some of the damages, and NFF at that time said there was no complaints that Bendel Insurance did not put forward anything, and I felt they didn't need to do that. We all saw what happened to them. The NFF could have called upon them and said, before we make our pronouncement, what were the things that you suffered, and can you give us like a calculation or estimate of what your damages are so that we can actually include it as part of the
I mean,
fine.
we know that there's a part of this, obviously part of the billing that is sort of bogus. I mean, we're talking about 500,000 naira for breach of COVID-19 rules. I don't get it.
And then you look
I mean,
at somebody losing a camera. You know how much a camera is and phones. And you
COVID-19
say
rules have been
200,000
breached
for
in the
that.
MPFL from day one of the league. So I do not understand. I don't understand where that is coming from. But of course, like I said, I'm all for punishment. I just do not think this is the right way to go.
But you know what?
in terms of,
Maybe what Bendel Insurance will take succor from is the fact that the appeals committee, in addition to the fines, have also ruled that Remo Stars will be banished to Akure Township Stadium, Ondo State, for, guess what? Only one match.
Well,
Only one match. It's just a trip down Akure and back again, and the end of the punishment.
It's that easy.
It is from Shagamu to Akure. It is.
That's about 4 hours.
It's just for one match, and that's the end of it.
Well,
Before you blink, the match is over.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully, we can see this sort of thing happen in the MPFL itself.
It does happen. Don't forget,
I mean, we're talking about
Kano Pillars were banished.
Where's the payment?
It's the number of matches you banished them
Where's
for.
the proof? They were told to pay 7 million naira.
No, I'm not talking about the fine. I'm talking about banishments. The clubs have been banished.
Punishment. I'm talking about punishment. That's what we have.
Heartland were banished the other time, and it led to them missing, forfeiting 3 points because they thought that their stadium, they were back at the stadium.
Was it Heartland or was FC Fayumba?
FC Fayumba. It was actually from Newi, who thought that they were back at Newi.
That they thought they had gotten a go ahead from
for them to host the
LMC.
match at Newi, and at the end of the day, LMC bungled that because they didn't give them a reply. But then, of course, let's see how things go. But we just hope that this, like you said, all these stiff punishments and penalties will actually really, bring about the desired effect, which is to serve as deterrent to other clubs, which so far so good hasn't really done that. Anyways, let's move away from Nigeria and Africa now and go to Europe, where we start with the Euros. Yes, it's over, but we can't stop talking about it. But then not necessarily for the right reasons, as you probably would say right one, because this is Bukayo Saka standing up for himself this time around, saying that he knew instantly that the kind of hate he was going to receive after his penalty miss against Italy in Sunday's Euro 2020 final. Saka's miss, along with earlier misses from Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, saw Italy beat England in a penalty shootout 3-2 to win the tournament. All three players received racist abuse on social media after the game, but the 19-year-old Arsenal player directed his comments about the way he was treated online at social media platforms, notably Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Okay, and he says whatever it is they've done, it is not going to break him. Rather, it will make him a stronger person. Meanwhile, latest report is that 4 people have so far been arrested in connection with the online abuse directed at the 3 England players. This is according to the UK Football Policing Unit, the UKFPU. Okay, and this is confirmed today by the UKFPU. Daniel. Okay, let's move on to other issues now. And Copa America and Lionel Messi's plan to leave Argentina were put on hold on Tuesday after the Barcelona star's private jet was halted amid a bomb scare. Messi was due to jet off for Miami, Florida, to spend some time on holiday with his family, but his flight was delayed after a man claimed to have left a bomb in his suitcase. Islas Malvinas International Airport was evacuated immediately, and emergency protocols were put in place with all flights grounded. But then, of course, after a thorough check and everything, it was found out to be safe, and at the end of the day, Messi was able to go ahead on his holiday. Don't forget, Barcelona were also on a tour of the United States. I'm not sure whether they are back from there.
United States or Japan. I think it was Japan the last time.
Oh yeah, he was actually in Japan. He was actually in Japan. So hopefully, Lionel Messi will be joining them wherever it is they move to, if they're still in Japan, after he finishes his vacation with his family. It's a well-deserved holiday after finishing the regular season and then going to Copa America.
A fantastic time at the Copa America.
Yes, if you win the tournament, it's a fantastic time.
It's a fantastic time. I mean, we look. You yourself said it yesterday. You sent me those statistics, and you go through this.
That's got nothing to do with a fantastic time. It was hard work for him.
It's a fantastic time. You know, when you put in that amount of work and you do get something from it, it has to be a fantastic
Not something.
time.
You get the trophy. Thank you very much. Don't just call it something. Anyway, let's go to Germany now, where Borussia Dortmund I don't know, but I think they're in a good position to say this because the asking price might have caused a lot of problems for clubs because of the harsh effects on finances due to COVID-19 pandemic last season, and Dortmund have now ruled out selling Erling Braut Haaland this summer amid interest from Chelsea. BBC Sports understood that the Blues have not lodged an official bid for the striker, who is 21 on the 21st of July. I love that, 21-21. Okay, Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel is keen on Haaland, whose 20 goals in 16 Champions League games for Red Bull Salzburg and Borussia Dortmund has made him one of Europe's most sought-after players. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has also been monitoring the situation. He is looking to sign a striker this summer following the exit of the club's record goal scorer Sergio Aguero, who joined Barcelona on a free transfer. Okay, City have also been heavily linked with England skipper Harry Kane, whose Tottenham future is open to doubt as well. So I think Guardiola is probably just keeping his cards close to his chest. Wants to see. Yeah. I think his first choice is Harry Kane because of the fact that Kane is much more experienced in the Premier League, and he wants to see how things go from that angle. Okay, we'll come back from our quick break. Right now, we need to take messages, and when we come back, we'll be bringing you a lot more updates on Now Sports Extra.
Times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000. Hi!
I beg. Where on they see this money?
Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus we they summer me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, what's up for me now?
You know, say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You are listening to Radio Now.
The news
beyond the news.
I like hearing the news.
News beyond the news.
Yes, radio. This
is 95.3 FM. Radio Now.
Another gift. This your guy, Sha.
That's so I see him.
Just like that.
Yup.
And you not ask?
Nope. My sister.
Gifts mean more when unexpected. That's why Airtel is giving you up to 100 million naira weekly in the Airtel Thanks Cash Token promo. To stand a chance to win, dial *479# now. Terms and conditions apply.
My friend, does your boyfriend not have friends like him?
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Stay connected to Radio Now on the air on 95.3 FM Lagos and online on www.thisisradionow.com.
Hello there, this is Oyinlomo Barakat Kodri. I'm Nigeria's #1 female tennis player. You're listening to Now Sports on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
You're welcome back. Now Sports Extra right here on your #1 on the dial, Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. And let's let you know quickly that we're streaming live on Facebook, and if you want to be a part of it, all you have to do is go on your Facebook and search for us right there. It's Radio Now 95.3 FM, and of course you can also reach us on our handle there, which is also This Is Radio Now. Of course, you can also stream live if you're not in Nigeria, you're outside the country or outside Lagos on this. That would be at thisisradionow.com, and then of course just click on the live button and you are voila onto us. Okay, I'm trying to sound French, but I don't have that. I don't have that accent at this point in time, Daniel.
I mean, yes, but like you said, you can actually always catch up with us on the show live on Facebook, right? You get to not just hear our voice, you get to see us and see all of the
you see Daniel's
drama.
Daniel's handsome face. That's me being handsome face. Yeah.
Oh please. Let's get on the show. We're talking transfer. You were talking Ellen Brown Ireland right before we went on that break, and you were saying Pep Guardiola was sort of keeping his cards close to his heart. And I think for me, I do not particularly see Haaland going to Manchester City. Right, we know that.
But he could go to Chelsea.
He could go to Chelsea, and the reports that we're getting that is that Borussia Dortmund are aware that Chelsea are interested.
Yeah, but Chelsea have not lodged any official
bid. And I think
it
has to do with the fact that Abramovich wants to get it right in terms of the kind of money, and you know that Borussia Dortmund present official statement is that they are not going to release Brad Ireland unless, in quotes now, a crazy bid comes in.
Yeah.
And we also know that
which is more than the evaluation.
Borussia Dortmund too need to make, they need to do smart business as well. Because
that club has always done smart business. They are probably one of the richest clubs in the world.
Let him go this season. Officially, next season is allowed to leave once any club plays is transferred.
Yeah, but they'll pay his transfer fee.
79 million euros, and that's cheap money.
Oh well, we'll
that's cheap money for the kind of player that Brad Ireland is.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Chelsea are also looking at. You know what? We don't get him this season.
Maybe we'll get him
next
season. But I think that
we're actually Champions League winners, so we can.
They're Champions League winners, and I think they still have a certain team of winner who I think would be looking to redeem himself.
I think with Thomas Tuchel in charge now, he will definitely bring out the best.
I think he will be looking to redeem himself this season. I think that Chelsea has not particularly been fair to him. Maybe because yes, his performance has dipped.
I don't agree with you on that one.
His performance has dipped, right? But I do not think that Chelsea have been.
I do not agree with you on that one. We'll be talking about that later.
I think he's a striker that still has a lot to offer the club.
Yeah, but the club has ambitions. They want to win the Premier League. They've won the Champions League.
They won with him as a striker.
Yeah, but how many of the goals did he score? Thank you very much. Okay, let's go on to the Premier League right now. And of course, I'll give you all the latest as well. And Rafael Benitez, I love his spirit, despite that he's not much liked by the fans. But he's come out to say, you know what? When you are successful, everybody wants to be a family member. But when you are a failure, everybody deserts you. And he says success will win over the fans for him at Chelsea. He says he agrees that he's been criticized because of some of the certain things he said in the past, but he also says that those things he said were way back in the past. Okay, we'll be opening the phone lines in a short while for you, our listeners out there, so you can be a part of the show when we get to the discussion segment. 61-year-old former Liverpool manager talking about Benitez, previously called Toffees, a small club after a draw in the Merseyside derby in 2007. Imagine what you said about 14 years ago coming back to haunt you. That's exactly what football is. And this time around, I think we can use the word karma is I'm going to leave it there and not say what I'm supposed to say. Okay, so in the Serie A, the fixtures for the new season is out, and it's Inter Milan, defending champions, up against Genoa on the weekend of August 21st and the 22nd. Juventus on their own side will be up against Udinese. Okay, they will be playing. They travel to Udinese for their opener with Massimiliano Allegri on the bench. So that's a very good one for them. Also a very tricky one. For runners-up, AC Milan, they take on another Genoa club as they open up against Sampdoria, while third place Atalanta will take on Torino.
Hopefully AC Milan will be starting off with
but guess what?
Top striker.
I can tell you categorically that the fact that the match everybody wants to see is actually Jose Mourinho's debut with Roma, and that is coming up against Napoli, Fiorentina.
That's a big one.
Okay,
that's a big one.
A new Napoli boss as well, Luciano Spalletti, who did a great job with AC Milan, faces promoted Venezia, a team he coached briefly 2 decades ago. So there's a whole lot of reminisce coming up and some old rivalry and all sorts of stuff as well. Okay, let's quickly also let you know, back in the Premier League, that West Ham have had a £6 million bid for goalkeeper Sam Johnston, rejected by West Brom. Johnston, who was part of England's Euro 2020 squad, has 1 year left on his West Brom contract, following the Baggies' relegation from the Premier League as well. And quickly now, defender Demi Stokes said the Great Britain's women's football squad feel strongly about their decision to take the knee before the games at the Tokyo Olympic Games this month. Rules around athletes protesting at Tokyo 2020 were relaxed by the International Olympic Committee. Head coach Hege Riise said the squad were all united in their decision. And this is a pointer to those organizations and social media platforms who still haven't taken strong actions against racial inequality, that the IOC definitely, the Olympics is not a place where you play politics or you try to bring in human rights issues. But this time around, if they are accepting this, then it is a big news, talking about the IOC.
Yeah, it is big news, and of course we know that message needs to be passed across at the biggest stage. We've always criticized the likes of UEFA, FIFA, who seem to always sort of have this passive communication skills, communication in terms of voicing out against racism in football or in the sport generally. But it's really good to see this sort of things happening at the Olympics. We know that taking the knee, everybody's going to hear that message loud and clear.
Okay,
that's the sort of thing that we want to continue to see.
And in boxing, Tyson Fury's third world heavyweight title fight against Deontay Wilder, ladies and gentlemen, has been rescheduled for 9th of October. And if you thought because of COVID-19 infection for Tyson Fury that bout will not come up, think again. It is up October 9. And the bout, which had been due to take place in Las Vegas on the 24th, we would have been so much anticipating that bout about now. But it was postponed after the British heavyweight tested positive for coronavirus. And we know how important it is for you to recover fully from that. We can ask Michael Eric of Nigeria, who would not be able to participate in the Olympic Games. And in tennis, the list continues to, get elongated. Players who will not be part of the Olympic Games in the tennis event. Angela Kerber is the latest tennis player to pull out of the Olympics. She's 33 years old, and she wrote on her Instagram page that her body needs rest after an intense few weeks that included reaching the women's semifinals of Wimbledon. And you can't really blame her. She joined Serena Williams, 23-time Grand Slam champion, and then, of course, 20-time Grand Slam winner as well, Roger Federer, and British number ones, Joanna Konta and Dan Evans, in withdrawing from the games. This is a huge blow, and, of course, Olympics, we all know, starts on the 23rd of July.
I mean, the amount of big names that have drawn out of that are out of the Tokyo Olympics, it shows you that not everybody is on board in terms of allowing the Olympics to go ahead.
I think a lot of them are also running away from that issue of the spike in Japan, and they just don't want to put themselves at risk.
It's COVID. That's the most important
thing.
Not
necessarily. I think they're just using their body needs to rest and all these things as a very diplomatic.
But nobody wants to really miss the Olympics, to be fair. It's the Olympics. It is the Olympics. It comes from about 4 years?
And Federer has never won a single gold medal there.
It's just that the health risk is too much. I've raised concern about the fact that.
But they said they will make sure that everything is right, even though one of the athletes that has arrived already has tested positive.
The first set of people to arrive, the Ugandans, already had COVID.
Not all of them, man.
Not all of them. Like the first set of people, at least part of the first set of people already had issues with COVID. I'm talking about when you're just dealing with a small contingent. Why you're not dealing with 18,000 people? How do you want to contain everybody? So
okay.
It is a cause for alarm.
Okay, let's open the phone lines right now. We were going to wait, but then we can't wait further because we have listeners trying to get through to us. 0901 111 1953 and 0809 222 2953. Our first caller on the line straight away, and we just lost that one. Please do try and call back again. Let me just reel out the numbers again. 0901 111 1953 and 0809 222 2953. Good evening and welcome to Now Sports Extra.
Good evening, Nina. Good evening, Daniel.
Hey,
Peter.
How are you?
Fine. Yesterday your line was so busy.
Yes.
Quickly, let me draw your attention to what you said yesterday. I don't know if it is right for me to say it on air.
Okay.
Yesterday, maybe it's a slip of the tongue, or maybe as you were in haste.
Okay.
You said Jorginho of Italy scored the winning goal against.
No, he didn't actually. Yes, I remember he didn't. He was saved by Pickford. I actually meant
the winning goal against
Spain. Yeah, it was Spain actually. Thanks for that, bro.
Quickly, let me react to some issues. This issue of this England races on these three, Rashford,
Sancho and
Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
On the issue of penalty or no penalty, let me tell you one thing, and what people are saying that Bukayo Saka would have not been allowed to take the penalty considering his age, and you need an experienced player to take penalty. This is my position.
Okay.
Penalty has nothing to do with whether experience or age-wise, and it has nothing to do. See, penalty is a game of luck.
Okay.
Look at the pedigree of England when it comes to penalty.
Okay.
They have never been doing very well.
Okay.
Take a look at their history when it comes to penalty shootout.
Yep.
It is one thing that has been, I don't know how to put it, that has been drawing them back.
Okay.
You understand? So it's not a question of whether experience or no experience. Look at it, best player those lose penalty.
Yep.
The likes of Roberto Baggio and the likes. Okay, look at Harry Kane. The penalty that was saved by Kasper Michael, even because of the rebound, and Kasper Michael wasn't before he could stand up. It would have been against him. So penalty is just a game of law. You don't know where the pendulum will swing. And so this issue of criticizing them, and this is the reason why I keep saying, I think after the Euros, I've taken my time to look at the exploit. Go Google, look at the Nigerians that played for English national team, and their regret. You understand? I don't want to listen. And both of them, the highest, they played 5 times, and they begin to regret. And this is the reason why we are saying, come play for your fatherland. We are beginning to see it now.
Okay.
Come play for your fatherland. You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know this issue. So well, let me leave it after that. Good on, Daniel.
Yeah.
I want to support you. Don't mind me. Keep talking about your Arsenal. Keep giving us updates. Even I'm not an Arsenal fan. Keep giving us update on Arsenal.
So when Peter, you're not serious, so Peter, you're telling me that even when the match is coming up tomorrow, Daniel should be telling us about it tomorrow when we have another show where we can talk about it tomorrow.
Because you are not Arsenal, let me put it against you now. You are shy.
So you want to expose me, Abi?
You have been exposed multiple times by Peter.
You know you have done it before. You can go ahead and do it again. There's nothing new again.
Let me leave you because you have your other.
You have done it before, Peter. Thank you very much. Okay, but I must say quickly, I just wanted Peter to conclude with his point there, but I still beg to differ with him, and I know that a very big coach in Jose Mourinho also shares the same view. I know that penalties is not dependent on experience or your age, but a player who's vastly inexperienced when it comes to national team football and pressure situations like that, I still maintain should not have been allowed to take the final kick. I remember asking Peter something. I said, if he was a coach, who would they allow to take his anchor free kick, which is the first one, and the final free kick? He said his best penalty takers. And I must say, I do not think that Saka has proven himself as probably one of the best penalty takers in the England squad. How many has he taken for England before?
4 days on from the Euro 2020 final, everybody kind of realizes that I think Gareth Southgate made a lot of mistakes in terms of
course,
his choice of penalty.
Let's take this call first, Daniel. Sorry about that. Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to Now Sports Extra.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Innocent. I ain't going to get this wrong.
Innocent. Daniel, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Innocent. How are you?
I'm very well. Susan, no?
Yeah, Susan is off today. She'll be back tomorrow.
Okay. So I want to say a very big congratulations to Italy. Since then I've not called.
Oh yeah, that's true.
True.
I keep my promise. I say I will not come for 3 days if Argentina win the.
Innocent. I'm reluctantly saying this and painfully saying it, but you are a man of your word.
He is a man of his word.
So I decided not to call on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
But he pay you, Shao. He pay you, so you don't call. You don't lie.
Yeah.
You don't say pay you, Shao.
It's a day now. How will I do?
I know.
So I have to keep my
word. You have
word.
to keep your word because you promised it.
Yeah. So a very big congratulations to Italy. I knew that they are going to win the Champions League. I know they are going to win the Euros.
The Euros, yeah.
Whether they miss penalty, they don't miss penalty. I wish that this guy did not miss the penalty. England will not win the.
I think the pressure would have been back on Italy, and I think that England might have won because Pickford was really going after a lot of their penalties. I know both goalkeepers proved to be very good penalty keepers, but at the end of the day, I think the pressure would have been on Italy if it gets to the sudden death.
But my own is that I don't understand why Man United players they decided to just give Italy the talk just like that.
Innocent, stay your lane. Oh, you know you're a Chelsea fan. Oh.
Both the new and the old.
The one who never kicks here for them. Sancho. Yeah.
And they all be saying number 10 in the ring. He missed penalty. God will help us.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much, Innocent.
Okay,
Have a
Innocent,
good day.
I haven't forgotten you. Let me just put that out there. I still haven't forgotten you. Okay, another
I know
caller.
Innocent is still listening, but Innocent don't mind him. You know, it's just a
Hello,
program.
good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, Philip, how are you doing? The network is a bit, I don't know, not very clear. Can you take a few steps away from where you are? We can hear you, but it's breaking a bit. I don't know whether you can take a few steps away from your spot.
I'm out of that.
Oh, better now.
Okay,
I
this
think
is
it's
much
better now.
Philip.
Go ahead, Philip. Yep.
I just want to say good evening, everybody.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Philip.
Daniel, how are you doing now?
I'm good. How's your day been?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You don't get support now. No good, they believe you.
Yeah.
They say, everything our confidence, they make people accusing you and that
But Philip, just before you go, let me just ask you this question. What are your thoughts about top tennis players, some top tennis players pulling out of the Olympic Games?
Of course, some of this concern as regards COVID-19, the safety, and all other things, and some probably might want to just prepare for them to get themselves fit enough to participate in the next coming Grand Slam. So I don't want to attach any kind of importance to it, apart from the fact that maybe health concerns, fitness and all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to attach any other things to it.
Okay.
So, of course, I think, holding go on this year. So I don't know how it goes.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
But considering the spike of the COVID-19
Yeah, thank you very much, Philip.
that's all.
Okay. And you too, my brother. And that's Philip calling in all the way from Apapa, the man who knows how to keep the hold up under check. Talking about Philip. Okay, so Daniel, you were saying something with. I think we've wrapped it all up with the COVID situation. But then transfers. What are your thoughts about players moving and coaches moving? I don't think coaches are going to be moving anymore at this point in time.
I'm not too sure about coaches moving at this time, but there are a couple of things going on in terms of transfers right now.
Okay, I was going to take a call, but the call has actually dropped. So let's just give opportunity for one more call, and I'll reel out the numbers to reach us again: 0901 111 1953, and you can also get us on 0809 222 2953. I always leave room for one lucky caller, so let's see whether we can get one more. Okay, Daniel, talking about the transfers.
Well, there's one bit of transfer news coming out of Spain, right? And this is still speculations, right? But it's a really, really interesting bit of business going on right there. Barcelona and Atletico are in advanced talks for a swap deal between Saúl and Griezmann. Both players have they gave the green light in the last hours, right? Barcelona and Atleti are now discussing on price tags. So it's quite interesting. We could see Antoine Griezmann move back to Atletico Madrid. So that would be a very, very interesting. It would be a shock of a move if you ask me, Nero. And of course, we also know there's presently nothing going on between Manchester United or Liverpool with Inter Milan as to the signing of Nicolo Barella.
You see what good competition does to your career, and I'm sure he will be moving. Let's take our last caller for this edition of the show.
Yeah, it's Peter back again.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Twice lucky this time around.
Yeah, this issue of what's his name again? I forgot it. Messi.
Yeah.
Wanting to win at Barcelona, even slashing his salary or wages.
Yeah.
I'm not too comfortable with it.
But don't you also look at it from the point of view that no club has really made an offer for him so far? Maybe because of the amount of money expected.
Pep Guardiola is pushing on his own. Maybe
He's not. Pep Guardiola has said he's still. He wanted last season, but he has not done much this season. He has not even made a bid to his father, who is actually Jorge, who is actually his representative. So you can't blame Messi. It's who comes for him that he would.
I think the thing is that most of the clubs were actually waiting to see what Messi himself was going to decide. I think at the end of the day, it boiled down to Messi rather than the club.
It still tells you that Barcelona is built around Messi. That is what they are telling you.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's a good decision for Barcelona to wanting to desperately keep hold of Messi rather than looking at the future.
It is not a good decision for Messi to really improve his status and to put the doubting Thomas into to at least to convince the doubting Thomas. He needs to move because he has even clamored at the last season that he wants to leave Barcelona. But why is he now? He's now a free agent. Why does he still want to stay? Good evening, Nino.
Thank you very much. Anyway, he says a lot as well. I don't know. I think Messi has a sort of love for Barcelona. Not even a sort of love. I think that's out there for everybody.
Love,
but I think that man called Juan Laporta has a way of getting to Messi.
I can tell you that if he was battling me, that was still in charge.
No, he's gone.
Messi would have been gone.
I think Messi's grouse was actually with the management of that.
He felt like the management were not moving in the right direction in terms of the kind of deals they were making.
Yeah.
And if you do look at the deals that I said Liverpool, Barcelona made at that time, I mean, bringing out the likes of
a lot of players. They
got Kevin Boateng. I mean, you let Suarez go and you bring in Kevin Boateng. What?
Kevin even came before. He came before Suarez even left.
But like that was the. I mean,
I understand what you're saying. If you can let somebody like that go.
Bad deals, But one bit of transfer coming out of League One, real quickly before we go on the show. Justin Kluivert, who is now close to joining OGC Nice from AS Roma. And we know that.
I'm not sure whether that's a good move.
I can't believe
say that French.
But you know that the Nice have a new they have a new coach now, Christophe Gatlier, who just won.
Gautier, the man who was with Lille before.
Who just won the League One.
And he seems to have a magic wand when it comes to molding average teams and good average players into big ones.
So let's see what he does with this.
Okay, and for your quick information, Justin Kluivert is actually the son of Holland great, I don't know whether he's a legend yet, but he's a great Patrick Kluivert. Okay, and that's our last shot on the show this evening. And of course, we're very sure that you guys must have enjoyed yourselves, especially those who watched us on Facebook Live, and of course those who actually streamed live as well, and those who listen to us on radio, both terrestrially and of course online as well. Big ups to our man who's on social media, talking about my man Anwar Dan Jaji. We love to call him Jaji. Okay, so Dan Akins has been with me in the studio. My name remains Niran Adesanya, signing off. And I'm always excited to introduce her to you. It's the delectable, beautiful, and sultry voice, Zibi, on Now Drive Time. Bye for now.
You're listening to Radio Now.
The news beyond the news.
I like hearing the news.